All right, guys, let's get into this one really quickly. Post-fight reaction to the Frank Martin versus Artem Harutyunyan WBC title eliminator fight tonight in Las Vegas, Nevada. Now, guys, I did somewhat of a prediction video in the last video I did about Gervonta Tank Davis. I said that Frank Martin would probably get Harutyunyan out of there in, I think I said the 6th round. I think I said that he was pretty much tailor-made for a fighter like Frank Martin. First of all, let me congratulate Frank Martin on his win tonight. He improves his record to 18-0, winning by unanimous decision. But there's a big but there. There's a big but I want to talk about, and I want to talk about his opponent, Artem Harutyunyan, and how he came to fight tonight. I underestimated him. I know I talk a lot about underestimating fighters. To not underestimate fighters just because they don't have a big name. And I think I did that with Harutyunyan tonight. He was coming, he's out of Germany, out of Hamburg, Germany. He had never fought in the States before. He's an Armenian guy, 12-0, 7 KOs. And, you know, everybody's so enamored with Frank Martin because he's on that trajectory. He's under the banner of Derrick James. He's in the camp with Errol Spence Jr., Anthony Joshua, Ryan Garcia, Jermell Charlo. He's surrounded by all these big names, and here it is, this guy that we've never really heard of before. And I did watch some highlights, and like I said, I completely underestimated the guy just watching a little bit of his highlights. I will say that, you know, he pressured a lot in the fight. He did a lot of good body work on Frank Martin, especially the right hand. He was going to Frank Martin's body a lot, throwing the overhand right. Head movement, he had a good upper body movement. And I said before that, you know, it looked like he didn't move his head, but I was completely off on that. You know, he fought a good fight. I thought Frank Martin did some really excellent work. In round 6, he came on strong. I thought he was going to get him out of there. I thought I was going to be right tonight, guys. I thought, you know, Frank Martin was going to stop him in the 6th round, but Harutyunyan held on, and he kept fighting. I think the 10th round is when Derrick James kind of got in Frank Martin's ass and said, you know, you got to turn it up. So he turned up the volume a little bit. He started to pressure Harutyunyan. He had Harutyunyan on the back foot. And, you know, we seen the Frank Martin like we saw in the last fight with Michelle Rivera. The 12th round, of course, Harutyunyan got hurt. His eye was a mess, and he did take a knee. And, you know, Frank didn't get the stoppage like he wanted to, but he did put up an excellent performance in that 12th round. He just looked like the Frank Martin that we wanted to see. Now, he said tonight his timing was off. It just wasn't a good night for him. And, you know, that happens with fighters. You know, sometimes, you know, things just aren't going to turn out the way you expect them to be. You know, I hear a lot of people saying that he's been exposed. I don't think he's been exposed. I just think it was a lesson well learned by a young fighter. You know, everybody's not going to be you're not going to be able to knock out everybody. I will say that. You're going to have some guys just because they don't have a name. They come to fight. You know, they come to upset the apple cart. And Artem Harutyunyan was that guy tonight for Frank Martin. I think he learned a lot in the fight. And that's what it's about, learning and growing as a fighter. Now, he still says he wants the big names at 135 pounds. But, you know, there's some things he probably going to have to work on. He was trying to counter Harutyunyan, I think a lot in the fight, early on in the fight, instead of pressing. He seemed to do his best work when he was pressing the action and not waiting, sitting back, waiting to counter Harutyunyan. So we'll see what happens with this. We'll see what he learns from this when he goes back to the drawing board and see what's next for Frank Martin. He's still a young fighter, so, you know, you can't really say that he's been exposed. I know a lot of people are going to say that. I've already heard people saying that online. I just think he, you know, learned a valuable lesson tonight. You know, you're not going to be able to have a great performance every fight. There's always going to be somebody that gives you some trouble. And the guy tonight, Artem Harutyunyan, did give him some trouble tonight. I think he may have overlooked the guy. Honestly, I did. I really overlooked him. I just looked at some of his highlights, and he didn't have a name, and I did what I say not to do when it came to him tonight. So lesson well learned by myself. So anyway, guys, you guys tell me what you think about Frank Martin's performance tonight. Were you impressed? Were you impressed with Artem Harutyunyan? Do you think they got it right? Unanimous decision for Frank Martin. Do you think that Harutyunyan should have won the fight? You guys let me know what you think about that in the comment section. It's the CMB. I'll talk to you guys in the next one, and I'm out. Peace.